Good evening, Savages, and welcome back to another episode of Savagely Paranormal. Tonight, we're with our special friends. We're here with Southern Ohio Paranormal Society, and we're so excited to have Travis and Cole on with us. So tell us a little bit about your team.
Me and Justin and Cole, we all work together at similar departments. Me and Cole at my full-time job, he's trying to get full-time there. And then we're part-time at another fire department. So we all kind of work together. But me and Justin works together on the same shift at Washington. And, we always watch Taps, reruns of Taps, Ghost Adventures, whether you like them or not.
Cool.
And one day we was just really talking and everything. He's like, man, I would love to go do a paranormal investigation or something. And one of our members at my full-time job, he owns the haunted Broadwell Funeral Home. And I'm like, well, I know someone. I'm like, I'm sure I can get us in there and everything. And I hit him up and he's like, yeah. He's like, whenever you want, I'll get you in there for like two hours during the daytime or wherever you want to do and everything. You can have it to yourself, free of charge and stuff. So, we went in there with our cell phones, just doing some EVP recordings and stuff. And that's when we caught, on my cell phone, we heard a loud bang, which we debunked it. It was just some pump in the basement. So we're sitting there. I restarted the recording and everything, sitting there asking like, who was that and stuff? Can you do it again? Blah, blah, blah. And you hear other voices in the background, which is Justin and then some other people that we had with him. But out of nowhere, this just completely different tone and everything. And it almost sounded like a good old time period tone voice came through of a man saying, I'm right here.
Nice.
And we was hooked. Clear as day. 100% class A on a cell phone. We was hooked. Next day at work and everything, I started showing Cole and everything. And then it was like 2 days later, me and Justin was still talking about it and everything. He's like, man, I want to do this. I'm like, all right, we will. He's like, what? I'm like, I already created a Facebook page. So, that's what kind of started it. It was just Cole's girlfriend, Shauna, and everything. She's we're the original four. So me, Cole, Justin, the co-founder, and Shauna were the original four. We got a couple honorary members that kind of shows up when they can, and others that are in training and stuff. I think we're up to about 10 people, but the core group is the four of us. We always had an interest in it. I had some personal experience of the unknown growing up and everything. So that's kind of just what really got us started, was just going to the Broadwell and everything, and then sitting there making the page and everything there at Broadwell, since it's also operated by the Underground Paranormal Network. We've seen Austin Mannard's name on there. We reached out to him, and he's really hooked us up from the get-go and everything, because we're like, hey, look, we're really getting into this. We caught a good, what we're saying, like a class A EVP from what we're doing research on and stuff. And we want to know like what's some good equipment and everything. And he's like, actually, I make equipment and blah, blah, blah. And he could have easily took us for a ride and say, you needed all these bells and whistles, $3,000, whatnot. And he's like, look, starting out, he's like, these 3 pieces of equipment and everything. He's like, I'll cut you a decent deal and everything. It was like $300 or so, a little under that, and hooked us up. And ever since, we've been in contact with him, built a good rapport with him. Since we started back on April 9th of last year, we are now the base team for Broadwell Funeral Home, responsible on doing events there, helping the owner, because he's trying to sit there and build the place back up, renovate it, and turn it into a haunted bed and breakfast deal.
That's one of the places on our list to do.
It is. So what are 3 pieces of equipment that he recommended for the first 3?
He's in good contact with JW, the creator and founder of IDC devices, and he helps him create a lot of them devices and stuff, and does his own little twist on his own personal devices. So he recommended the IDC Direct Link, the IDC, drawing the blank on the name, excuse me for that, ion generator. And then the actual one that I can't truly remember the name, but it registers the polarity in the field and everything. So it has low indicator lights, and everything. And So it'll adjust to that and everything, and then also has a alarm sensor on the top and everything. So if something gets close, it'll kind of acts like a REM pod deal.
Okay, nice.
Them 3 devices, he's like, them be good. He's like, he's like cell phones work and everything. He's like, you can find decent, cheap recorders on the internet and everything. And stuff. He's like, you got the Holy Grails and everything. He's like, some of them are great and others, he's like, it's just they've been used for a long time and everything. You're just kind of paying for the name and everything. So we bought just a couple cheap recorders and everything, in which we can get in a whole conversation on that too, on just a different type of evidence that we have captured doing our investigations with other people and everything, of each recorder capturing something different in the same room.
Now that's crazy, because we've done that where you have different recorders, but each of them have a different sensitivity level. So one catches this, the other one will catch something different. And a lot of it too, I've found with the recorders, not all of them have the microphones in the same spot. So if you have one that faces this way and one that faces this way, you're catching 2 different things. It's kind of wild.
Yes.
My favorite pieces of equipment, though, I like the basics. I like obviously the recorder for the EVPs. I like the spirit box because we love to do the Estes. That's one of our favorite things. And then we go old school, I guess you would call it. We do a lot of pendulums and dowsing rods too.
My favorite piece is the lighted dowsing rods that I have. Those things are like the goat.
Yes, those are awesome.
What's your favorite piece of equipment, Cole?
So mine is probably going to be the EVP. And then one of the things I like to do a lot whenever we get to a location is do a initial walkthrough with EMF.
Yes.
To kind of figure out where some of the high spikes are and go from there with me. So I'd have to say probably at this point it's EVP and EMF, but I do really like the Estes method with the spirit box as well.
Yeah, that's fun. And I like it because each person that we have do it gets completely different responses. Like, we have my son as part of our team. He just turned 18. So one of his gifts to him was letting him finally officially join the team, being an adult, if you want to call him that at 18. But when he does the Estes method, he's been practicing it for the last 2 years. So he's able to get more clear responses versus one of us doing it. But he also has abilities, so it's hard to say what he actually gets from the spirit box versus otherwise. But we absolutely love the Estes method.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with the Estes method. I love that we can get things to communicate through the white noise, but I absolutely hate listening to white noise nonstop. I start to fall asleep.
Yeah, it puts me to sleep too.
I'm like a 15-minute, maybe 20 is pushing it into the Estes, and then I have to pull myself out because I will start to
snore.
Yeah, I have done that.
Start to snore.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
We've been trying. Sorry, talk about the white noise. We've been trying. We bought it from Ghost Stop, but it's a processor and everything that dampens the white noise.
I have that. Stuff. The ANC Mini.
Yes.
We have one of those too. I have a love-hate relationship with that thing. Sometimes I can get it to work great. Other times I want to throw it out the window.
Yeah, the past couple of times we haven't been having that great. And it seems like, especially when I try to use it and everything, I've been using it with our, I would say it's our spare box on steroids. It's, they call it the Bubbler, created by JW in Austin. I think you've seen it when we had it up there at Madison and stuff.
Yeah, that's on my
phenomenal device and everything, and especially with that and everything, I like it because the whole point is you place your finger on the antenna and everything, and then it's using your energy to broadcast out.
Yeah.
Nice.
All the times I put the mini on it and everything, it seems like it dampens it way too much. It's like you love hate.
Yeah, it's a good little device when you can get it. You got to hit that sweet spot where it works just right.
And I have one of the old school red glass boxes, like the original spirit boxes from Ghost Stop.
No, that's not the original. That's the different one. I have the SB7 and the red one. You have the red one.
Yeah.
The red one is like an amped up version where you can record.
Yeah, I love the fact you can record on it, because then you can go back and listen to like what came through. And sometimes you get different things than what you got in person. It's weird.
Yeah.
So what I was going to ask you is, where is your most favorite place to go and investigate?
Right now, I got two. I mean, of course, Broadwell, because I mean that's what started this whole adventure for us and everything. And there is still a lot of secrets there every time we go. The spirits, we got to get a rapport with a lot of them, especially the one that he likes to call himself in the basement and stuff. Me and him definitely has a love-hate relationship. But there's a lot of secrets that we're slowly uncovering and everything that we're able to see. But then also Middle Point School in Middle Point, Ohio. That building's just something else.
Oh, I haven't been.
We've been there twice. The first time is when we actually got the bubbler, and I was the first one on the team to use it. And courtesy of Cole, he actually purchased it on the spot that day, because we was there meeting all the members of the Underground Paranormal Network. And that's when we got invited to join them and stuff to help them out and everything as a partnership. And Austin sat there and he's like, hey, I got a new device, first gen and everything. He's like, I tested it already. Works amazing. Shows us what it does. Cole's like, it's ours. We're buying it.
Yeah.
I got to use it in what they call the blackout room. It's on the second floor. It used to have windows, but they put metal siding on the windows and everything. So when it's nighttime, you can't hardly see the hand in your face. Story is there a lot of people senses like negative energy. A lot of bad stuff happens in there when they're investigating and stuff. And when we was in there, which we're going to be releasing some of the videos on that here soon and everything. We have the live stream of it too. But like the whole entire time, me and Cole kept noticing, even some people in our live stream chat noticing something peeking around the corner that was coming into the hallway for the room from the actual main hallway on the second floor. Then like me and Cole goes investigate, stuff starts really going on. We come back in, I get back on the bubbler, start asking questions and everything. And then all of a sudden there on the back of my neck, I felt a burning sensation. I'm like, guys, come check my neck. And that's when they told me I had 3 scratches, and one of the scratches actually drew blood.
Oh, wow.
Perfect drop of blood and everything. So, I mean, that was the very, very first interaction where I actually had something physical latched on made itself known to me. And then on December 20th, we went back and invited an unearthing Violet with us. And my niece she wanted to join and everything. So I brought my niece along, which everyone there in the group knew. But once we got there, I didn't announce that she was my niece or anything. But we're there in the basement doing sessions and stuff. And we're doing the flashlight method and everything, getting this response, talking to the spirit or entity, come to find out, and sitting there asking questions. And it said it was summoned there, because we have heard reports of rituals, summonings being done in the basement when the school was abandoned in its time. And then it's like, who do you want here alone and everything? Because it was only communicating to certain people when they was asking questions. So we start kind of rambling off some names, and my niece is sitting here off to my left. Cole goes and mentions, you want Madison alone? Flashlight bright as hell. And she pulls me close. She's like, no. I'm like, why? I'm like, it's all right. She's like, no, I think I got scratched. So she showed me on her left side 3 scratches across her side of her stomach. So instantly I'm like, guys, no, she ain't. Looked at Justin, because he was a youth pastor, super religious. Asked him, I'm like, take her out, get off the land and everything. Start praying over her, do a cleansing prayer and all that and stuff. And so now I'm a little hyped up and everything, because 1, my niece. 2, my mind's running and everything, because I haven't heard much interactions. I have like heard people like being slapped, pushed and all that, but never of a scratch. I'm thinking, I'm like, something's up. Common denominator and everything. I've been scratched. She's my blood. She's been scratched down. So asking questions and everything, somewhat getting answers, and we're give you guys a little heads up and everything, which we're going to try and release this week and everything. On one of the audios and everything of EVP recording, we caught something, and I swear it was saying my name. So Justin brought his laptop, which is an amazing thing that he done that day, because we threw it in, cleaned it up and everything. And actually what we caught was a lot worse. It was 3 syllables, and it said, "Bring her back."
Wow.
Needless to say, we didn't let her go back into the basement. We went back and everything as a group, and she stayed up on the first floor with other people and stuff. We're asking questions and everything. And I've been doing research and classes on like demonology and everything. And the one that I've been using and everything also teaches you, if you want to, how to summon them and all that, which I'm not about to dabble in that. Knowing some of the little tricks and everything, I kind of set it up for a trap. And I'm like, what do you want with us and everything? I was scratched. She was scratched and stuff. Why? And it's sitting there saying that we remind it of the people that summoned it there, and it needs us to set it free. I'm like, how do we help you on that and everything? Do you need like the blood and everything and flashlights? Unearthing had theirs, both of them bright as crap and everything. Is like, you don't use blood to kind of set to help you out. The way that you use that is to really set you free, or you're bound to that person and stuff. So it's very interesting and everything, especially the history of that place, because like underground, they done an amazing job on research and everything, and the building itself doesn't have a lot of like bad history. The most they can find when it was operating as a school, I think it was like a 2nd or 3rd grader, a little girl. She fell from the 2nd floor down the stairwell. She lived and everything, but I mean that was the most tragic piece tied to that land itself. Mm-hmm. But Middle Point, the town itself, since it's been founded, if you go through the research of the whole town itself, has been plagued with bad karma. Might as well say a lot of deaths just within close to the school itself. Like straight across the street on the opposite block, I think it was like in the 70s. The house was broken into. The people that lived there was murdered execution style. The person that broke in killed himself. Then across from that house on the opposite end of the block, in like the 80s, I think it was mid 80s, father went postal, killed his stepdaughter execution style, and then off to himself. Within close proximity and everything in the town itself has a lot of bad reputation.
That's kind of odd.
Yes.
I mean, I could see, a lot of abandoned buildings, a lot of people as kids go in, you do Ouija board, you do seances, you don't know what you're doing, you might open things, you don't know how to close them. I can see that, but that's a whole lot for one little town.
Yes. Then like if you look at the aerial photos and everything, the school itself is almost, it's not like sitting in the center of the town because it's on the edge of the town. But if you look at the whole square mileage of the town, it's technically the center. It's not smack dab in the middle of the town, but where it's positioned, how long and wide that town is, it's almost dead center. It's been a little bit because what Austin said, but I believe he said it was about 20 to 30 years of the school existence that they can't find much history on. It was still operating as a school, but like on a more private style. And the most that they're being able to find was people that has graduated from there has now became high power people, Congress, senators, big name people. But that's the most they've been able to find and everything. And it just like a good 20 to 30 year span of school history itself is secret. It's like, what was you doing on then?
I don't want to say sketchy, but that's kind of sketchy.
Yes. There's definitely some sketchy elements to it for sure.
Yeah. It is. But I mean, also Cole, he had a good conversation with a teacher. I had one. We actually had a funny interaction because we was in the gymnasium, and all of a sudden, doing the flashlight method, found out that we was talking to a literature English teacher, and Justin went to go ask her a question, and it's like, who's your favorite author? Edgar Allan Poe. The way when he went to ask and everything, he straight up butchered the sentence and everything. And then all of a sudden he's like, man, I just feel angry. he's like, not like at anyone else, but like myself, like all of a sudden I just felt angry. And he's like, did I make you mad? Flashlight, boom, lit up. He's like, well, I'm sorry. Do you want me to leave? Flash back on. He's like, okay, I'll leave and everything. So he's walking in the hallway and you still can see into the auditorium. I'm just like, are you happy that he's gone? And he's like, just to let you know, I still can see. Poof. Flashlight turned back on. I'm like, yeah, it's happy that you're gone. Sorry, bud.
Your teacher was mad at you for butchering that sentence.
Yes. Which I mean, I'm not perfect on speaking either. So I even apologize to her and everything. I'm like, I'm completely sorry. I'm like, I'm true country and everything. I don't speak the best either. Just doing this and everything, because like watching the shows is nice and everything, but actually being involved doing it and then meeting everyone and doing seeing how they do it and everything, it just goes to show and everything. Which I always wonder is, if you're trapped here and everything, does it change you and everything, or are you going to be the same as you lived and everything? And just seeing how a lot of these spirits are still the same as most likely when they was alive and stuff.
I like that when we come across the ones like, okay, so I work in an animal hospital, and that's kind of when we're bored, we go there. When we get new equipment, we go there. We know what's there, so it's safe. And it's right across the street from a cemetery, which is just wonderful. Because when we go there, we send off this like beacon of light. Hey, come talk to us. So we always get new spirits come through. But the ones that we've talked to on a regular basis over and over again, most of them, hey, we're just here. We don't know why. We don't know what's going on. We don't know why we can't cross over. Yes, we can see the light, but for some reason we can't get there. But we have come across the ones that kind of, when they passed away, they were not happy people. Mm-hmm. They have chosen not to cross, and they have kind of, I hate to use the word malevolent, but they have kind of turned malevolent because they were that way as a human. And then once they passed, they couldn't get past whatever they had done. And it just kind of eats at them in the spirit world. And they just continue to get more angry and more angry and more angry. I don't know. I can't speak for you, but I think as a group that kind of intrigues us how this works, that they can't come to terms with whatever they had done and just
going to like the vet clinic or Madison Seminary, even because it's like our hometown haunt. You know, we're like 10 minutes there. The spirits there, they know us. Like, I get called out. My name gets called out there on the spirit box all the time because we're there so much. And it's just interesting, depending on where you are in the building, different voices will come through and be like, hey, we know them. Like, they want to hang out with us. They want to talk to us because they know us. And I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, hey, we remember you. Like, we're safe for them to talk to, and they're like, okay, we know you. We're comfortable. I think it's cool that there are just different locations. Like, depending on, like, I'm sure, like, you know, the spirits at Broadwell, they know you guys relatively well because you're there a lot. It's the same with us at Madison. And I think it's just fascinating that there are spirits there that will actively come to find us no matter where we are. And they'll be like, hey, no, we want you to go here. You have to go to this specific area. And that we kind of get like sheep herded through the building to like that one area that they're like, okay, this is where we want you. And this is what we want you to do. And then something amazing happens. Like, we see the shadow figure run down the hallway or a door slams shut. And we're like, now I'm glad that you told us to be here.
Right.
Cole, what's your favorite location?
I really like Broadwell. It seems like a location I would think that we take for granted a little bit, but I really do like Broadwell. It's our roots. It's where we got started, and it's where a lot of my first time getting into this stuff happened. So that's kind of a special place in my heart. I do really like Middle Point. Middle Point, when we went there, was the first time we went there was the first location. And I've told Travis this. It's the only location we've been to where I physically feel uneasy being in the building. I do not like being in that building. It really makes me, scared is kind of a word I'm going to use, but it's more or less like I don't want to be in this building sort of feeling.
For all of us, like the first time it was just the core four of us, that whole night we was on edge.
It was definitely a different experience in the building compared to the second time that we went with Middle Point. The second time it wasn't as bad, but I still got scared a couple times through with just a couple things that happened. Broadwell is honestly where my heart is with a lot of it, but Middle Point has been very, very good to us as well.
That's good. I can totally understand, the place where you got your roots.
The other location that we got to go to, which was actually the first complete different one that wasn't owned or operated by like Underground Paranormal or anything like that, was Jonesville Rest Home down in Jonesville, Kentucky. And we had an amazing time. Had a lot of good interactions. Justin had an amazing time, because a lot of times when he's at Broadwell, when we've been there, he's never really had interactions. The spirits there never really wanted to communicate with him that much. And there at Jonesville, he had an amazing time. We was doing the first time starting using the flashlight method, communicating with a spirit called Victor. He was a teacher when the school that used to sit there before the rest home. He done an experiment, caught the place on fire and everything. It was a complete accident, was what he was saying. And him and a janitor saved all the students and everything, but he ultimately died from smoke inhalation and stuff. And he just completely feels bad and everything because of the experiment and everything. But there when we was communicating, all of us felt the energy, Justin the most, because Victor wanted to talk to him the most. I'm sure some of you seen our posts and everything about the place, and other people has made a post. Owner's doing some stuff and everything, falsifying some evidence and everything for people and everything, because there's 2 Ring cameras. I'm not going to get in a dispute, but it's a shame on that location because it does actually have history. Jonesville itself, since it was founded, and half the village burnt down twice and everything. The school was involved. Just a lot of tragic history on the land itself and everything. Reports of possible Civil War battles has happened there. The land and the building itself can speak and everything, and just having the owner ruining it for investigators is not the greatest.
No, that's sad.
We've been to Middle Point. Cole wasn't able to join us to Madison and everything, which was unfortunate. We're definitely going to try and get him up there because he missed a great time up there. Madison's in the top 3, but other than that, we haven't been. It's been Broadwell, Middle Point, Jonesville, Madison. This year, we're hoping to join Almere and everything up there at Ohio State Reformatory. In August, we're going to go to Bill Creek and Indiana State Penitentiary.
We're going to
Trap Souls is doing that too.
We'll be there with you guys at OSR, so that should be fun.
Sweet.
I'm super excited for that. That's
perfect.
Collab.
That has been on my bucket list for years.
I'm super, super excited to get to work with you guys again. I think it would be
great. We're down. I know they're at Madison. Didn't get a lot of opportunity. Thank you for once again on showing us the place and everything to get us started and everything. But then it was after I won the solo investigation for Sarah's room. I kind of just stayed there. About 2 hours of it I wasn't supposed to be up there that long for my solo, because when I left, Ryan said, and I still give him crap, he's like, someone will come and get you. I'm like, all right. I'm not leaving unless if something really forces me to leave, but I'm not leaving until someone comes to get me.
He made a point to tell me this the next day. This was his big thing.
Yeah. I forgot him, and we're like, hey, where's Travis at? Like, we're missing people. Like, somebody text other people and be like, hey, it's been longer than what you were supposed to be gone.
Yeah.
Are you live?
Yeah, it was. You have 10 minutes to set up, then about 20 or 30 minutes, someone come and get you. And during it, I hear him do the death whistle. Apparently, that was supposed to be, hey, solars are done, come back and everything. I'm still getting good activity and everything. And then I'm live streaming. All of a sudden, I see Justin jump in the chat, which he kind of felt bad. He's like, man, I should have checked on you sooner. He's like, we left you in a room that's supposed to be demonic and everything. I'm like, yeah, you felt bad if you come and checked on me. If I didn't respond, I've just been there spinning in midair.
Would be super fun if we could get all of us to go back this year to Madison.
Yeah,
do a big collab again.
Before we left and everything, Ryan said that is something that he wants to try and do once a year. Is he was talking about for this year, possibly turning it into like a 3-day event where him, RC, and possibly us be the main headliners for all 3 days. And then each day bring in a bunch of different teams and stuff, where you have 3 of the main ones, but then a bunch of other teams and stuff. Ryan, he's been amazing and everything. He really just, since we got in contact with him on when he invited us to be on his podcast and learn about our team and everything, and then meeting him in person. I mean, a lot of people wants to sit there and say para unity is not a thing, but I mean, Ryan's, he lives and breathes it and everything. He tries his best and everything on going in and sitting there and showing the love.
He does. He literally lives around the corner from me. I've been to his house for podcasts a few times. He's great.
Definitely, I think the most fun that I have is when we're out with other teams, because we get to like see how you guys operate and do things and learn new techniques from each other and see like new fun equipment and toys that you guys might have that I might want. And the SLS camera that you guys have.
Yeah.
I want one.
Horn Paranormal, I haven't seen a new post. I did see one post with the price hikes on stuff and everything. They have stopped making them and selling them because they don't want to raise the price on it and everything. But I mean, drawing blank. But Lee and Patty Allen and everything, amazing people. When they came and helped us on our first public event during the Gourd Festival that our town has there at the Broadwell, they brought their XLS, and that's who they got it from. And they could not say anything bad about Horn Paranormal. If I remember correctly, I think he said he was like the first one to kind of get the XLS to really go and everything on the market and everything, and always keeps it cheap. So the one we got is the XLS and SLS combined, and we paid just a little bit over $450.
That's not bad.
Stuff, and it's been amazing. We have captured a lot of good evidence, or kind of saying using the term of evidence. We're still all trying to figure this out and everything, but interesting pieces and everything that is very hard to explain or debunk.
I would love to do a collab at the Rose Opera House in Cynthiana,
Kentucky. You'll have to look it up. We did
definitely will.
There, it was so fun. Being a small team, it made it a little difficult, but we had some crazy activity there, and we got one of our best EVPs that we love there. Me and a teammate, we were up on the stage, and they still had props up because they were actively doing plays. We sat down on the bench, and I had a fresh cup of coffee because we had just got there and unpacked, and I sat it down right next to my recorder that was on the floor, and you get coffee, good stuff. One of my favorite EVPs ever.
The spirits there, though, they were so active and they were so cool. Mm-hmm. But probably one of my most memorable experiences happened there. We were standing on the stage and looking up towards the projection booth, and we actually seen somebody walk through the projection booth and look through the windows at us like they were trying to spotlight us. And that's probably like the most interesting thing that I've had on an investigation. It's probably like my most favorite memory from anywhere.
We immediately split up. 2 stayed on the stage, 2 went upstairs to make sure that even though the door was locked, we made sure that nobody had gotten in and went up there. There was nobody anywhere. It was wild. And we have it on video somewhere.
No, we have it on video where Kelsey ran. Our teammate, me and her were standing in front of the stage because we had all walked down off the stage with each other. And our teammate that passed away, Brian, they went upstairs to check the door, to like open and shut the door to see if it was like the wind blowing that would make like a shadow cast through the thing to make it look like there was somebody in there. So they're experimenting, and then all of a sudden something ran at me and Kelsey from the stage, and I turn around with my flashlight because I'm trying to figure out what's running at me. And I turned back, Kelsey was gone, but we have a recording of her running up the stairs, and her little pigtails were flopping as she was running. You could hear her Crocs going, and she's just yelling, nope, 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 nope. But then, like, you see her pass, because we had an iPad sitting on a table to video down the stairs, and you see Kelsey pass and you hear her pass, but then like 10 seconds later, you hear another set of footsteps on up the stairs behind her. Oh. It was absolutely insane. But the entire town is haunted. And there were 2 other places in town that we really wanted to check out. There's a courthouse and an old jail that we didn't get to go to. But even like the museum is haunted there that they have. And there was like a huge Civil War battle that happened in town There's a huge, creepy cemetery.
Yeah, that cemetery is a little sketchy.
You feel like
A few
things are gonna reach up from the ground.
There's a few of the graves that have the big cement blocks on them, so nothing comes back out like they used to do. But I kid you not.
Like what you see down in Louisiana, the tombs, above the ground tombs.
Yes. But I'm not kidding. As you walk on the ground, it literally feels like it's going to fold up around you and pull you down. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just a really weird vibe. But everybody there is so nice and they're so accepting of the paranormal that they would just stop and talk to you as you're walking by. Cause, you know, of course we had our shirts on and stuff and everybody was, hey, how you doing? What are you doing here? What are you checking out? What'd you find?
Or then they want to tell you their experiences from the opera house, from the jail, from the courthouse, from the museum, from different parts of town. Like, oh, well, while you're here, you got to check out here. This place here has the best food. You have to go here. You have to see this. You have to go here. It was definitely like a wild and fun adventure. And I really want to go back, but I want to collab with another team.
You definitely need more people because this place is huge.
It is very huge and it's very active, but I want to collab with another team and maybe do the jail.
And we had one of the coolest Estes methods we've ever had. Brian and I were in one area. We were up in like the upper theater seats and her and Kelsey were on the other side of the wall. Brian and I were doing Estes. We were talking to this, I want to say kid, but he was more like a young man who had ended up being murdered. While we're talking to him, they're getting answers on the other side of the wall to go along with what we're talking to him about. And it was wild when we compared everything at the end of the night.
Nothing comes to mind from me.
Yeah, I don't know. Our biggest thing, we're spiritual and everything. I'm a Christian and stuff. And I like to go into those investigations and everything as like from somewhat of that standpoint and everything, because a lot of people says when you die and everything, you automatically go to heaven. I have not seen true scriptures that exactly gives me that answer. Do we sit there and go in limbo till the rapture happens and everything when we're called back home? It's very weird on that and everything. So kind of go in there and then we're getting these communications, spirits, a little tidbit that the creator of the spirit box and everything, he created that to talk to aliens and stuff. That was not meant for spirit communications. He believed when he was creating that it was to talk to aliens. So, I mean, it's hard to say. And there's still a lot of unknown and everything. So I kind of go in that standpoint. But like our biggest thing is when we're done investigating and everything, before we touch our vehicles and stuff, we get off the land and everything, and we go and do a cleansing prayer and everything to thank the Lord for this opportunity of trying to understand the universe that He's created. Whether you believe in that or not, that's up to you and everything. I'm not here to judge. That's our biggest thing. Techniques wise, I mean, we're still learning and everything. I know I've been getting into the thing. I actually heard it from Verona and everything, where he likes to, before the investigation, he just pops the spirit box on, headphones on, and then just listens, meditates for a while, and listens for answers and writes them down. I've been trying to do that before we really start going, or while we're setting up our cameras and everything for our DVR system. I'm just kind of walking around, getting feel for the building, see what rooms giving off vibes where I might want to start first and everything. But I mean, I don't think there's really anything to say that can set us apart from anything. I mean, we just go in there to try and get answers. Our biggest thing is just give the spirits respect and everything, and let them know, hey, we're not here to harm you and everything. We just want to know your story, your life and everything.
Thank you guys for having me. I do have to bounce out of here. My dinner's ready, so I'm going to go have dinner with the lady. I appreciate you guys having me for the time being.
Have you guys tried to do Dine with the Dead yet? So Verona, I know you've worked with Verona a few times probably. And Nacho also ordered dinner when we go out on investigation, and we'll make a plate for the dead, and then we lay out equipment and stuff around where we're eating dinner. And we did it at Post. a lot of really cool activity at Post Town when we did it. You're just sitting there, you're eating, you're chatting with each other, but you're also like asking the spirits questions. And we find that like we get the most experiences and the most activity when we're just hanging out, talking at like base camp with each other. Because the spirits are like, hey, no, hey, hello, I'm here. Pay attention to me. They don't like to be ignored.
We've noticed that too and everything. Sometimes, past couple of investigations, like we done at the Broadwell and everything, I just kind of hang back and everything and allow everyone done it. Like, the biggest one was at our public Halloween event. That day in itself was rough for me. Kind of just let a lot of the people there know. We had to put my oldest dog down that day and everything, so that was pretty rough. But I couldn't leave my team and everything. Kind of need to be there and everything. So I just told them, hey, look, I'm just going to be in the background and everything, which later on as the investigation went, I went and joined in, which kind of regretted it. They're just sitting there. I popped the flashlight up and everything because I remember like the last time I was there's a cabinet in the corner and everything with this picture that was drawn of by a psychic medium that said that was Rosalie. He's the empath and everything. He believes that it's not Rosalie and everything. So I mean, who knows? Set the flashlight up there and just here and there, just ask some questions or just kind of let it sit, and here and there it would start turning on to get my attention. That's one thing I noticed. If you start letting your guard down, they get your attention back.
They're kind of like, I thought you came to talk to us.
Yeah.
I think it's always interesting when you're just hanging out at a base camp, whether you're on a house case or in a location. Because we've done a lot of too.
Madison.
We like house cases.
There at Madison, when we was the room that had the heater, we had our XLS camera case setting up and everything. The whole entire time, nothing. We're there just chit chatting and everything, and we caught it because all of a sudden it just fell over. And we actually captured that on camera and stuff. And people walk past it. There's times that we came close, and this time no one was around it, and it just fell over. No rhyme or reason why that should have happened. There, looking back, I think something there was in the room trying to get our attention.
Oh, I would not doubt that, especially at Madison. Things can tend to get a little crazy when they get ignored, and they really don't appreciate that. They're like, you're here for me. You're going to pay attention to me.
Right.
Or I'm going to do something. Like, we've had things like thrown, had doors slam. You hear things run across the floor randomly. It's always a good time at Madison.
So let me ask you a question. You said you had experiences that made you curious about this paranormal.
I don't have a problem. So it was back in 2001. I was like 9 or 10. My brother committed suicide and everything. Right, 2 days after Christmas. So the day that we buried him and everything, we're home. You know, everyone's around and stuff. And I didn't really want to be around because at that time and everything, when it happened, we was all home. And I was the first one to find him and everything after we heard the loud gunshot and stuff. And stuff. So there, my room at my parents' house and everything at that time was in the front of the house. I had a window, and now we're on somewhat of a decent busy highway, but all the other times and everything, and lights going through and everything, never had a light reaction like this and stuff. But I'm just there laying on my bed. My TV's up in the corner and everything, and its shelf and everything, it's off and stuff. And then just all of a sudden, this bright flash of light came into the room, and it was in a perfect form of a cross. Now, I don't know if a car went past and everything, but like I said, all the times the car's going past and everything, there's no rhyme or reason because the highway, this is the house and the highway's running parallel with it. Right. So, I mean, there's really no rhyme or reason on why that would happen. I had the blinds closed and stuff. Then shortly after that light disappeared, my TV turned on, and it was white static, and then a perfect image of my brother was there, and he said, "I'm all right. I'm okay."
Aww.
That's what got me intrigued and everything, and really starting doing research on it at that age and everything. It still gets me to this day and everything. Looking back at it and everything, I consider it. I wish I knew how to help him at that time because the mental health is the biggest thing during this past past year and everything, Men's Mental Health Month and everything. That's why I was pushing out and everything, especially in the fire service. I went and got training to become a peer support crisis counselor and everything, because in our line of field, suicide rates is outrageous and everything in our line of field and everything. And the time I started in 2010 and everything, and during that time of the fire service was, you had a bad run, you go home, cry it out if you need it, and you come back and you do your job. We don't talk about feelings and stuff. And now there's been a big culture change, which I'm glad, because I have been on some horrible runs and everything, and that has messed me up and everything. And during that time, I didn't have the right outlets to talk to, because talk about feelings and everything is bad. Right. So I'm glad to see that change. I wish I knew how to help him at that time, but also it was shortly after that and everything, the war really kicked off and everything. He was always into it and everything and he was 17 when he turned 18. We received a letter from quite a bit of the military branches and everything, because he was constantly sitting there saying, let him join and everything. And of course, not old enough. And finally received a letter because they haven't heard anything. And so we had to notify him that ultimately he has passed away and everything. And looking back at that, I look at his choice a blessing, because he could have went to war and we could have lost him and actually never had his remains. So at least we know where he's at and everything.
Yeah. So put to rest in whole, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. There's no good way to make a sound and everything, but I mean, just looking back at it and everything, I think, like I said, I mean, it sounds twisted and everything, but I think that was the best outcome and everything. Because I mean, who knows if he went to war? Could have been worse, right? And stuff. Because we down here, we actually had a local Matt Moppin that was captured and everything and killed in action and stuff. That could have been him. Right. Where we would have went for years not knowing till finally knowing. I mean, that there's what really ticked it off. And then, of course, we had like some urban legend areas and everything. One time, group of our friends, we went to this area that's supposed to be haunted. It used to have been the old American Legion at the time. And I mean, it's pitch black, new moon and everything. And so no lights. I go around to the backside of the building, and at the very far end, I keep seeing something peek around the other end of the building. I'm thinking it's my friends with me pulling a prank on me. So I turn around, just walk back and everything, and they had the dome light of the truck and everything. They're all still sitting in there because there was only two others. So I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. I go back, and it's still peeking around. And then finally, it came fully around and started sprinting at me. I was maybe 16 at the time. So, of course, I wasn't about to mess with it. I sat there, turned around, and booked it back to the truck, and we left. There's a firehouse I used to work at and everything, and a lot of unexplained things has happened there that really piqued my interest and everything.
Surprise me at all.
No,
footsteps. I mean, running up the stairs, like we're there in the day room of the upstairs and stuff, and we hear, like, we can see the front door and everything, so we know no one came in, but we hear footsteps running up the stairs, and we're looking at the stairwell waiting to see something come up, and nothing, and it stops, and we're like, okay. For numerous times when I'm sitting in the bay, peripheral vision, but we see a little kid running from the squad into the meeting area, conference area, the grand entry for the firehouse. I'm looking back on recordings, we have captured the double doors opening on the moon and everything. So, I mean, no surprising there. My full-time firehouse I work at and everything, it's a running joke of one of the old timers that has passed that lived there at the firehouse, was the chief for a while and stuff. He still haunts that place. I would love to take some of my equipment up there to interact, but also I'm a firm believer of, like Ryan says, you start asking a lot of questions, sooner or later something's going to come and answer. So I kind of don't want to really hype it up, but I would love to, because knowing him and everything, I could sit there and prove that paranormal's real if I capture, because he had this stutter and everything, and he would constantly go and stuff, like a stutter or tick. If I ever capture that on an EVP or a spirit box, 100% proof at least for my area, because I mean, you could set the post online and whatever. But for me, I would have 100% definitive proof that paranormal does truly exist and stuff because of that. I mean, we hear stuff being tinkered out in the bay because he would constantly come up there, work on stuff when he was retired and everything, and being a volunteer and everything. So it doesn't surprise me on that and everything, just with what we see and everything and what we do, especially on the squads, that maybe a piece of energy of someone is still there.
That's their last memory, probably, and they don't know what the heck happened.
We actually, like, I know a lot of first responders, and that is like a really more common thing that you would think. There are tons of firehouses all over that are haunted. Like Brian's dad's volunteer firefighter, their squad is haunted.
If you think about it, the people who were in the squads, if they passed away, their last moment that they could possibly remember is in that squad. So they're there. They have no idea why. They don't know what happened.
They're just there working like everybody else.
No, the people that passed away.
Oh, yeah,
they're like,
too.
I don't know what happened. I'm here.
I mean, the last bit of energy and everything, because like Nick Ross said when he done a Death Walker episode there at the Broadwell Funeral Home and everything, once the energy is created, it can't be destroyed. It's going somewhere, something's going to sit there and absorb it and everything. It's just there. I mean, if it's a bad case where they die on us in the run and everything, which, I mean, our rule of thumb is we don't call it once you're in the back of the squad and everything. We'll get you to the hospital, but we know that ultimately, yes, they was dead in the squad.
Right.
Because it just turns into a whole bureaucracy, legal issues and stuff. Verona always, Nacho, he always loves to sit there and ask people and everything, do you believe the cemeteries are haunted and stuff? I mean, yes and no. I understand his point and everything, because, I mean, that's not where they was at when they died and stuff, so why would they be there? I think if you go there to pay your respects to the loved one and everything, if they've been following you and stuff, if they're stuck in that limbo, like how I kind of believe where we're not going to heaven right off the bat and stuff, then it's them following you, and that's how you get the interactions. And I think it's some others that are waiting for the family members to come and pay their respects still and everything, and the family kind of forgets about them.
Well, we have our local cemetery here. We used to go there a couple of times a year, and I got a clear EVP of my uncle telling me I love you. Does that mean he's stuck there? No, I was there, so he was there, and that was his chance to say that. But then we've also been to other graves where we get EVPs and talk to people, and we get a lot of I'm lonely or
yes,
nobody's come to see them. So yes, they are there just waiting for somebody to come and pay their respects or see them or just say, hey, I miss you.
And that also like getting like more spiritual and everything. I mean, like Book of Revelation and everything, when one of the trumpet sounds is where the body will come out of the grave to meet its spirit. So, I mean, is there still, when we pass and everything, do we still have that connectivity to what was our shell, our body and stuff? I believe so. So I think that's why you will have interactions there at the cemeteries, and just like you guys have captured numerous EVPs.
And we have one particular girl that the girl in blue or the lady in blue, or
it's the girl in blue.
She was basically buried there after getting hit by a train.
Yeah.
But they didn't really know who she was when she was buried. Eventually they figured out who they think it was, but virtually nobody has gone to pay their respects. So she's still there waiting for somebody to come and claim her, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be the thing that allows her to go to the light.
She does have a lot of visitors nowadays, because
not family,
but she has a lot of people that go, and like
she's kind of internet famous now.
Right. She's one of like the local lore type deals here. So I go at least once a year and pay my respects to her, but it's always an interesting time. That cemetery is weird. It has weird vibes all over.
Yes, it does. Then there's another one over in our other local cemetery. It's a little girl who was killed, Sarah. But again, it's kind of one of those things where this happened so long ago, there's not really any family around. So she's just kind of
there.
Somebody come and show me some love. Somebody.
She likes to hang out with us when we go to that cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
You'll catch her on EVPs like, hey.
Occasionally you'll get a mom.
That's crazy. Even the spirit world knows when you're a mom.
Yeah.
She just yells out for us and we're like,
well,
I'm not your mom, but I mean, if you say mom and I hear you scream mom, I'm going to be like, who, me?
Well, that's one of the things we have found though with a lot of the cemeteries with the kids. They know that we're moms. So they do tend to, Mom, I want my mom. Where's my mom? Because they know as a mom, you're going to try to help them.
It's the same thing when we go on like different locations. If there's children, they're always like, Mommy, do you know where my mommy is? Can you help me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Post town was interesting. There's a little girl that passed away from injuries sustained at the school. And Post town is an interesting location. It has a lot of dolls. I had a lot of interesting weird experience at Post town. Post town was an interesting, kind of creepy place. There was a lot of just stuff that you wouldn't expect to find at a school. Like, there's a lot of shadow figures. Something tried to keep my kid in one of the rooms. Like, it wouldn't let her leave. So that was not okay with me. I was not a happy camper. But there's a whole room full of dolls.
We don't tell Justin that.
All right, savages, we're going to wrap this up. We'd like to thank Travis and Cole for joining us this evening, and we'll see you later, savages.
Thanks, guys.
Right. Thanks for having us.